Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to ATP Live on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. I am Dr. Gumisala Vaide, and what we're going to be doing is answering all your questions. Um on any of the platform that you might be. So if you're watching me from Facebook, let me know by you dropping comments. And if you're watching me on Instagram, let me know as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, just say hi in comments and let us know where you're watching from. Let me add Fumi to the Instagram. And then anybody who wants to be a guest, any of our moderators want to be a guest with us on the Facebook and the YouTube, you're welcome to join us. Okay. Hi, Fumi.
Hello, Dr. Bemi. Good evening, ma.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, ma. How's your day been, ma?
I'm fine, great. I'm just trying to adjust my screen. Okay, I think it's about okay. So my head is not
Yes, ma.
in the hair. Okay, so you're welcome. Yes, I think we are good to go. All right. So what we'll be doing, like again, like we did last week, we're going to answer your questions. So this is an open house. Any question you have on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, we'll be answering them. And I think somebody should be helping us to create the watch party on the Facebook group. So if you also have questions on the watch party, we will answer them. And I think our moderators will help us to move the questions across board. So I hope somebody is watching and somebody is doing all that because I'm using so many devices right now. It's going to be hard for me to go and do that. Okay, so for me, maybe you can send. I don't know. You won't be able to do that as well because your phone is on Instagram. Okay, so we're going to start right now. So what we do is we alternated. So if you read a
The way we
question
did it last week.
on Facebook on Instagram, then I'll feature a question on um, Facebook, and then we just alternate it and see how we can do it as well. Okay, so do we have any question yet on Instagram?
No, but
I can see
me,
so
I
many
will
on
get it.
Facebook.
Yeah, she only said she has a question, so bring it on. We are
Yeah,
waiting.
yeah. So you can start now. Remember, we have only 60 minutes, so feel free to
Yes.
ask your question now because time is going. Okay, I can see question here from Facebook members. Sylvia is saying, "Dog, what can make a child of 8 months head hot, even when the temperature is 36.6?" Okay, now 36.6 is normal temperature, and so if the temperature is 36.6, that is normal. And so if you feel it and you think it's hot, but your temperature thermometer is reading 36.6, it means it's not hot. So that is actually why they created the thermometer because our hand is not a instrument. It's very subjective. So if you are feeling hot, for example, and you touch somebody, you may actually feel the other person is hot, whereas you are the one feeling hot. So that is the issue. So we rely, I'm going to rely more on the instruments, unless the instrument itself is faulty. But if your instrument is, you are sure it's new, is reliable, then I'll rely more on the instrument rather than your own subjective feeling. So as far as we are concerned, there's nothing wrong with the child, so you don't really need to do anything. Okay, so I hope that answer your question, Sylvia. Yes, Zainab is watching from Facebook. Thank you. Ugochi, thank you. Okay, yeah. All right, Facebook family are just saying hello
We,
to us. Okay, sorry.
yeah.
Do you have a question? I have another question
We don't
on.
have any. Okay, yeah, we have a question now.
Okay,
My
go.
question, yeah, I will edit. My question is. Hey, stop that. My question is, my baby will be 15 months and yet to walk on her own.
Mm,
She stands on the bed but scared to stand on the floor. She walks when holding something but
mm,
scared to let go. Is there
mm.
something?
No, that baby, that is not something to worry about. So a 15 months old who is cruising, that's what your baby is doing. Your baby is already holding onto something and cruising around and moving around. That is still within normal. So just continue. Hopefully in another few months, baby should be able to walk independently. However, if baby she's not walking by 18 months, then you have to see us. You have to see us if your baby is not walking by 18 months. I hope those people on Instagram, I mean, those on Facebook, I hope you can hear the Instagram question. So I hope you can hear Fumi. If you can't hear her, let me know so that we have to.
I don't think they can hear me.
Yeah, okay. If you can't hear the question on Instagram, then I may have to repeat it a little bit before I answer it, or just paraphrase the question. Okay, so this mom is asking about a 15-month-old who can cruise but is not yet walking independently. And the answer is there's no need to worry, just be a little bit more patient, and then the child will begin to walk. So, but if by 18 months the child is not yet walking, then we can see the child, you let the pediatrician see the child. But I'm almost certain that your baby will be able to walk in a few moments because the child is already very close to letting go and walking. All right, let me take a question here on Facebook. Jane is saying, what can cause swelling of the lower eye of a 1 year, 6 months in just one eye? Okay, there are so many things that can cause eye swelling. Okay, I think I must have jumped a question. There was a question on vitamin A. I think I jumped. Okay, let me go back to that question so that the person doesn't feel bad. Okay, like people are saying, can I give my 1 year old vitamin A syrup? Vitamin A actually comes as a capsule. Vitamin A comes as a capsule, and you're supposed to get it from your health center or some pharmacy can sell it. Because the dose of vitamin A that you need is quite a lot. You need that age. The child needs a child who is above 1 year needs 200,000 units. And most of those syrup, they usually, if you read the units inside, it's usually maybe 400, 800, or 2,500 units. They are very small units. So the volume of syrup you will take to get the 200,000 will be quite a lot. But whereas the capsule, the red or the blue capsule I think is 100,000, the red capsule I think is 200. They are very high dense. So just a little drop of oil and you are getting like 200,000 units of vitamin A, and you don't need it for another 6 months. So we prefer you take that rather than taking the syrup and all those other ones. And if you have already taken vitamin A at the hospital as a capsule, you don't need to be giving vitamin A again as say everyday syrup, because vitamin A is a fat soluble vitamin, which means that the body stores it. So once you take it once, the body has stored enough for the next 6 months. So you don't need to give, because if you give again, you can have too much of vitamin A. You know, that's the danger. You can have what we call hypervitaminosis A, which is too much of vitamin A. So try and avoid giving vitamin A if you're already taking the one given in the hospital. So I hope that helps. Okay.
Okay, yeah. That's our Instagram people. Now, here we'll edit. My baby's poop seems strong. She takes water and still sucks. She is 15 months. How can I help her easily, please?
How old is the child?
15 months.
So is the baby taking fruits? Is she taking vegetables? Is she drinking lots of water? Those are the things you can do. And what kind of food are you giving? Are you giving only those cereals that you bought in the shops? Or are you giving, natural food that are rich in fiber? Those are the things that I want you to do. So give things like vegetables, ewedu, okra, those food are rich in fiber, fruits, lot of water. That's what you need to give to the child. And make sure if you are giving any of those cereals that are bought in the shops, make sure you mix it the way they say you should mix it. Don't make them too thick. Even the milk, don't make them the way they ask you to make it. They say 1 scoop to 30 mils of water. Let it be 1 scoop to 30 mils. Or don't just add it as the spirit leads you, because there's a reason behind the amount and the quantity you're supposed to give. So I hope that helps the person. So constipation is common, but the main challenge with constipation is the water and the food that are rich in fiber. So you need to make sure your child is getting all those or food that are high in fiber, fruit, vegetables, and a lot of water. But if you are doing all that and your child is still constipated, then you may have to come and see us, because we may now need to investigate for other causes of constipation in that child. Okay, let's move on. Thank you, Gloria. I can see Gloria there. Thank you for watching. Sylvia is there. Thank you. Okay, now back to the question by I was trying to answer before. They are now jump. Jane is asking the swelling of a lower eyelid in a 1 year 6 month or just one eye. It's very important that we see that child. I really want to know how severe is this swelling. Is it a very serious swelling, or is it just the normal eye bag that people have maybe when they've slept and they wake up, which will clear within a few hours? But if the child is really having severe swelling, we need to know, is there any abnormality, like there are some swelling that like sty and all those things that the ophthalmologist normally will look at. So if you don't have a picture, it's difficult to say, but I would rather say maybe you want a doctor to have a look to know whether it's a significant swelling, actually, because it's one eye. I guess it's something significant. So you want to let a professional see that child, because that's the only way we are going to be sure what it is is there, and that will help us. Okay, Gloria said they can hear you for me, so they can actually hear you. Ah, all right,
Oh,
good. So no problem. I don't need to be repeating your question. All right. So
that's
do we have question again on
okay.
Instagram?
Yes, ma. Okay, baby, thank you for joining. Yeah, you're worth it. Another question is, her growing of teeth is quite slow. She has two up and two down, and she's 15 months.
And that's not slow, that's fine. So you don't worry about the teeth, all the teeth will come out, don't worry. You don't, there's no need to worry about it. So even some babies don't have any at 1 year, and the dentist will sit there, you don't need to worry until the child is 13 months. So your baby already have four at 15 months. I know that maybe you are looking at some other babies who already have their old 20 and you are worried, but there's no need to worry, the teeth will come out, just let the baby be. Okay. The most important thing is to be brushing the teeth properly and making sure that you brush it twice a day with appropriate toothpaste, toothbrush, the right quantity of toothpaste, grain of rice, and make sure you use milk toothpaste that has appropriate amount of fluoride. Those are the most important thing rather than the number. The number will eventually, it's a range. It will eventually come out, so there's no need to worry. Okay, I think it's my turn to go
Okay.
to Facebook. Okay. Momo Mabaya Jeffisaya is saying, my baby will be 6 months, exclusive breastfeeding. Okay, what do I give as supplementary food? Okay, so Mabaya, there's no, we don't recommend supplementary food. I know you do, I know what you meant, but I really need to correct that. What we recommend is complementary. Now, the difference between complementary and supplementary to us is that when you say supplementary, you mean you are replacing something with another thing. But when we say complementary, you mean you are adding something alongside other things. So when your baby is 6 months old, your baby should be on complementary food. In other words, you are still going to continue to breastfeed the same way you've always breastfeed, but this time around you are now going to add other food. And that question you've asked is a complete course on its own. How do you go about complementary feeding? It's not something I'm going to answer you in 1 hour. So in fact, I'm actually putting up together a course for those of you who are first time mom, and complementary feeding is a whole unit in that module, is a whole module in that course of 6 lessons on its own. So there's no way we're going to answer that in this 1 hour live program. So what you're going to do is, like, you thank God you're on our Facebook, go to the group, look for the units under the menu section, look for units, go to unit 2 in that menu, and that is a whole course on complementary feeding. There are PDF articles there, and there are videos. There are about videos on what do you give, how often do you give it, and all that. Very detailed, very practical videos. If you watch it, then you become, and we also have other group discussion that we have done on complementary feeding. If you go through all those ones, even on our YouTube channel, if you go through all those materials, you will become very confident on going about complementary feeding. It's something you can do. Basically, there's no food in your kitchen that your baby cannot eat. What really matters is the texture, and then what quantity and all those things. So that's why I really want you to go through the unit course, and then you'll be fine. So I hope that helps. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, okay. Now, okay, Champagne, Mudubaba, Zara, Akiyemi, Adriayemi, thank you for joining. Okay, phone care, DFK, yeah, we're grateful. Thank you for joining. DFK back. Good day, ma. Please, when is a baby said to be overfed?
Mm. Okay. that question is very difficult to answer because I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to. It's a little bit difficult to explain now because um, I need to, number one, we have to talk about quantity, we have to talk about frequency, and then I need to know the age of the baby, the weight of the baby. So I really, it's a question that you have to be very specific. So, for example, a baby, let's say a baby who weighs 3 kilos, should be taking about 300 mils of milk in a day, and maybe the baby should be eating every 3 hours. So if you divide that 300 maybe into 8 meals, like if baby is eating every 3 hours, that means baby will eat 8 times in a day. So if you divide that 300 by 8, so baby should be taking about 75 meals of there. I mean, I hope my math is correct. The teacher should do that. Yeah, yeah. I think it's about six. Yeah, what's that? 8 divided by 300. That's am I getting this right? Okay, I'm kind of confused now. Okay, 8 in 30 is 3 or thereabouts. Okay, let's say the baby is taking about.
That's 37.5.
Exactly. So that baby should be taking about 37.5 mils of milk every 8 hours, you know. But remember, 3 kilos is the weight of a newborn baby, like at birth. So if that baby now you are giving 100 mils, that will be overfeeding the baby. Yeah, that's the point I'm making. So there's a amount of calories and amount of milk a baby should take in a day. So if you are giving too much, then that is overfeeding. So there's the volume or the amount of food the baby should take, we calculate it based on their weight. So what I was calculating is actually the calories. The calories, let's say, is 300, but you know, let's say a 100 ml of milk contains 67 kilocalories. So we now have to work out how many meals. By the time you work out the meal, it may come out to about 60 meals or thereabout every 8 hours, every 3 hours. So if your baby is now taking like 100, 200 meals, then you're overfeeding the baby. If you are feeding a baby every 2 hours and baby is feeding like 100 meals, maybe say a newborn or a baby who is just 2 months old, that is too much. So it is not every cry in the baby that is hunger. So you really need to understand that concept. So most time we don't worry about, people usually don't overfeed. Most time they actually underfeed the children. So but if you think, if your baby is gaining weight excessively and all that, then that is likely what's it called, overfeeding the baby and all that. But you can discuss with your pediatrician, and then the pediatrician will be able to work out for you what is and usually what we recommend, like for example, like I put it together a course, we recommend what we call baby led feeding. In other words, be sensitive, let the baby be the one to demand for food, and when the baby is okay and baby stop, don't keep on forcing them to eat. That is it. Most time the baby themselves know when they are okay, but you know, some parents just want like you must always eat, you must always eat. Your motherhood or your Femi is already laughing.
What would you say?
your
What would you say?
yes, your the goal of your motherhood, or how good you are as a mother, I'm looking for the right word, the word has escaped my brain now. It's not based on how you are able to feed your baby. So just relax, don't worry. Your baby, the most important thing is that the baby is not starving, but don't overfeed as well. You understand? So some people are giving breast milk and they're also giving formula, they are giving, and they always think because baby cries, it's not every cry in a baby that is hunger. I want mothers to understand that, because I get that a lot. Even when the baby is eating well, baby is gaining weight, some people say, oh, baby is not getting enough. How do you know baby is not getting enough? Because baby is still crying. That does not mean, some babies suck for different reasons. They don't suck all the time for hunger. Sometimes they just suck for pleasure. They suck to be close to their mother. They just want that feeling of you being close to them. So that is why you see them put their mouth on the breast and then they will sleep off. And when you try to take the breast away, they will hold on to it. That one is not because they are hungry. They just want you. They want to feel you. So you really need to know the difference between all that. I hope that is helpful. Okay, so I think I'll go on to the next question here. Okay, I think I've answered that. Okay, Toyo Karim is saying, I'm a first timer and I'm enjoying your lecture. Thank you, Toyo. And I have a 2 year, 6 month old who is not yet talking properly, and I'm a bit concerned. Yes, I'll be a bit concerned if a 2 year old is not talking. But then you are not very specific. You are like not talking properly. What is your definition of not talking properly? So, like, I would just say what I expect from a 2 year old. I expect a 2 year old to be able to say, to be combining two words together. In fact, 2.5 year old should be combining three words. In other words, you should be saying mommy biscuits or mommy go. It should at least minimum of 2 word to 3 words sentence or phrases. That's what I expect from a 2 year old. So if your baby is not yet saying those words and you can't make out what a 2 year old is saying, then you should see either a speech therapist or a pediatrician, preferably a developmental pediatrician. And for those of you who are on ATP, you can book an appointment. We have speech therapists on our ATP clinics, and we also have the developmental pediatricians that you can see for assessment. The earlier, the better, because if we start intervention early, the children will do far better. Okay, so for me,
All
to your
right, back
hand.
to our Instagram people. Yeah, Info baby, God bless you. God bless you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, champagne. Please, my 9 months old diaper area is reddish and different from the rest of our body. No rash, no itching, no pain, but the color is reddish down to the anus. Please, what should I do?
Okay, I don't understand when you say there's no rash, because for me that redness is a rash. So that's what we call rashes. So rashes doesn't have to be. I don't know what you people mean by rashes, but if there's a discoloration in color, if there's a swelling on the top, anything that look abnormal on the skin, to us we call it rashes. So redness in that area to us may suggest either a nappy rash or a fungal infection. Usually we get fungal infection in usually that redness tends to suggest that. Number one, are you been changing diaper frequently? I was just recording the unit lesson on diaper management of diaper area today. Are you changing the diaper frequently? Are you using diaper cream? You remember, in the diaper area, please use cream, not powder. Don't put powder on top of cream. Change diaper frequently. Diaper change is not only when it is poop or second one. It is even when it is wet. And don't be deceived by, oh, I'm using hyper absorbent diaper. You need to change the diaper at least not less than 3 4 hours. All these diaper that you think you can use, you can't use a diaper from morning to night just because the baby didn't put into it, because there's need for fresh circulation of air, and there's also a need for fresh diaper, because that's prolonged contact with the urine or with the stool. Those are the things that cause irritation of the skin of the diaper, and that is what normally causes these rashes. So for your own baby now, I'm not really sure whether it's just the normal diaper rashes or whether it's a fungal infection, because there are two. The treatment is different. If it's just a normal diaper rash, once you start changing diaper frequently and you're using things like pseudo cream or your Vaseline jelly or all those things, it will clear. But if it is a fungal infection, even though you are changing diaper, you are using cream and all that, it's not going to clear, because that one requires treatment with antifungal infection. And so for that, so it's better you will need to see a doctor so that we can prescribe appropriate antifungal cream for the child. And even so, there are times that when the baby is at home with you, you are not out, just take off the diaper, let them have some free circulation of air around that area. It is very, very important, so that that skin will not be irritated by all the things around, the water, the stool, the urine, they irritate the skin. So you need to or sometimes take off the diaper as well. I hope that helps. But I think if you are not sure, I think it's better you let the doctor see, because that redness is ringing alarm bell for me of a possible candida infection, because that's the one that tends to give them red skin. Okay, I've got another question by Rafiat. She's saying, good evening, ma'am. My baby of 13 months does not like eating food at all, except breast milk and water. So at 13 months, your baby should be taking family food. So if your 13-month-old is only taking breast milk and water, there's fire on the mountain, because there's no way that breast milk alone will be able to sustain a 13-month-old. You understand? There's no way. So that baby, you didn't mention the weight, but I'm really concerned. I'm almost certain that that baby's weight is going to be on the weight. So you really need, at 30 months, you should see a doctor, because number one, maybe you should need to tell us the weight of the baby first, and then we can now take it up from there. But your baby should be on family food. And so, like the other people, I'm just going to tell you that you should go to the unit section, and then you can go to the unit section and do the unit 102 course on complementary feeding. We have enough information, and there are a lot of posts. We also have what we call ATP feeding tips. If you go to our Facebook group page, Instagram, just even Google the hashtag ATP feeding tips, hashtag ATP feeding tips. All our feeding tips, they are on all over the social media. They will come out, and then you can watch them, and you will begin to learn tips, healthy eating tips. How do you get a child to eat and all that? Those are the kind of things that you may be able to do. So I will encourage you to do that first, and then you will learn a lot. But if you really need individual support, then you really need to you may need to see a pediatrician or a doctor who can help you to work out the calories, give you advice, or you can even see our what we call pediatric nutritionists, who can also give you some guide and all that. Okay, I noticed that we don't have the watch party going on. I'm trying to put it out, but I can't even say this new Facebook stuff is really so difficult to use. All right, but let's just continue. Fumi, do you have question on that side?
Okay, yeah, we have a question. My baby of 15 weeks weighs 8.2 kg. EBF is chubby and not too fat. Want to know if he's overweight. 15 weeks, 8.2 kg EBF.
Wow, that's
Chubby but
15
not too
weeks is
fat.
almost 4 months old, right? 15 weeks is 4 months
Yes,
old, yeah, almost 4 months old.
yes,
That's so
almost.
that's a little bit on the what was the birth weight? Do we have an idea?
No, she didn't drop the bench weight. Have the bench weight.
Okay, so if we don't have the birth weight, it's difficult to say what it is. So uh, but the baby seemed to be a big, because usually, let's even say your baby is 4 kilos at birth. Let's say your baby is 4 kilos, and then that baby should not have doubled their birth weight at this age now. So if your baby is already waiting, if your baby is already weighing like 8 kilos, that 8 kilos is the weight of the baby at 8 months, or even 8 months thereabout. So that is quite a big baby. And some of that time, some of those ones may be a sign of some other problems, like what we call some other endocrine problems. So unless you people are really very very big in the family and all that, so I would really prefer you get to see a doctor, and let's see a pediatrician first. Let's just be sure there's nothing we are missing. And if there's nothing we are missing, and baby is otherwise healthy, they've examined baby, everything is fine, no problem. Some babies tend to lose their baby fat once they begin to crawl and move around. So not, but we just need to be sure we're not missing anything, that that we are not missing out anything. So that's why I will encourage you to see a pediatrician, because that weight is a little bit on the high side. Okay. All right. So I think I'm just
No,
going
I'm
to,
just
yeah, I'm trying to see whether my watch party is running. It's not working. Okay. Okay. Let me just go back to my StreamYard. All right. So, have I answered this question? Yes, I've answered that question. Yes, I've answered that question. Okay, anybody who is watching, who is a moderator, can you please put up a watch party for us on the ATP Live? I can't seem to get it out down here. Okay, Ugochi is asking, please, ma, is there anything wrong for a child that has stopped breastfeeding and later starts longing for breast, even though no breast milk after 5 months? That the child stop breastfeeding. How old is this child? I think I really need to know the age of the child. So please, whenever you're asking a question, ask us. A child can always long for breastfeeding at certain time. It depends on you. Are you ready to breastfeed the child or you don't want to breastfeed? You can breastfeed as long as 2 years and above. So you didn't really specify the age of this child. So it's difficult to answer that question at all. But if your child is not up to 2 years and you still want to keep on breastfeeding, you can start again. You can always start again. But like you said, your breast is already dried up now, so there's no milk. I think what you need to really decide, as this is just basically parenting thing, is that what do you want? You can't just allow your children to manipulate you all the time. If if you really want the child to breastfeed, breastfeed. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think we should just say because a child wants something, then you should just give it to them. That is actually a very serious issue when it comes to parenting. You don't just give children everything because they want it. You're not going to give them the keys to your Lexus because they want to ride a car. You don't do that. So you make up your mind. If you want to still breastfeed and the child is still of the age for breastfeeding, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not really sure I'm just trying to understand why you want to do this. Is it just because the child is longing for it, you're going to give the child? No. You don't just do things because the child wants it. So just to be clear about that. All right, Fubi, can you go on your side now?
Okay. Yeah. But to pay, I joined late. No, you are not late. Don't worry. You're still on
Yeah, see
track.
on time.
Yeah, as a breastfeeding mother, can I take my cod liver oil tablet and hope it won't affect the baby?
Why are you taking cod liver oil for what? Who prescribe it for you? I mean, why are you taking? What are you trying to achieve with the cod liver oil? I think that's the question I'm trying to figure out first. Okay. So if you just let me know first why you are doing cod liver oil, then I know what to do and all that. But if you are not taking, if you I just want to understand what you're trying to do first, then I can take it up from there. So, because even cod liver oil is not something we recommend routinely for mothers. It's not something we use. Sometimes people just use things because everybody is doing it, and it's like a it's like a what do people call it now? It's like a fashion or something. But you don't need to do everything. Everything we do, especially when it comes to medication, has a purpose. So if you are taking cod liver oil, the question is why are you taking it? What are you trying to achieve? So that's what I really want to know. So if you let me know that, then I can take it up from there. Okay. All right. I'm trying to see. Okay. Yes. Okay. I think I've got what I'm trying to do now. Okay. I'm just trying to share this live to our group, so that people
All
can
right.
say
I'm trying to see.
whether we have any more questions. Okay. Okay, let's just continue. I have a lot of questions on the group. Okay, so Amaka is asking, good evening, ma. My boy doesn't like sucking only in the night. I've been bopping for 2 weeks now. It will be 4 months next week. What can I do? I've gone to hospital. Doctor said I should pump. I don't understand. I should pump. Okay, I get pump. Please, what can I do to give? Can I give him Abidec and well baby? Why you are giving Abidec? You are giving well baby. You are giving the same thing, just the same multivitamin. There's really no point. Anyway, but the truth of the matter is that it's not Abidec or well baby that will make your baby to suck. So if your baby is not sucking during the day, the first thing I really want to know is that how are you breastfeeding? What's your breastfeeding technique like? Because that is the most important thing. Because if a baby is not properly attached to the breast, then they can um if they are sucking on the nipple, for example, no milk will be coming out. And because no milk is coming out, they'll be frustrated and they are also not interested in sucking. Then for you, number two, I really want to know the age of your baby. Oh, okay, you told me the age of your baby. I want to know the weight of your baby. Because sometimes if your baby is sucking so much in the night and the baby has taken enough milk in the night, then the baby may not feel like sucking during the day, but you will know that the baby is getting enough milk because the baby will be gaining weight. So if your baby is gaining weight well, and the baby, some mothers think the baby needs to be sucking 24/7. They don't have to suck 24/7. So as long as baby is gaining weight, that is more objective evidence of a baby who is actually sucking enough. So we need the weight of the baby and we need to know that the techniques is appropriate. Those are the things that we need to know. If we have those information, then we're able to kind of advise you further. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. If you can provide additional information, if you are still watching, provide additional information, and then we can now give you more specific answer. But just to say that taking giving multivitamins is not a solution to all those things. The most important thing is that why is the baby not sucking? That's what we want to really that's what we want to know first. If we sort that one out, then we can now give you more advice on what to do. So I hope that helps. Okay, let's move on to. Okay, I think for me it's your turn now.
Yes, ma'am. Is it true that stopping a baby breastfeeding while she's yet to fully walk on her own will affect her walking?
No, that's a myth. That's a myth. I get that's a myth a lot, but I love the myth. You know why? It keeps you breastfeeding longer. That's a good one. It's a good one, but it's really, to be honest, it's a myth. It doesn't really. Your baby walking and your baby breastfeeding, they don't have any relationship. But I like it because it means you will keep on breastfeeding your baby for 2 years or whenever your baby works. So that one is one of those myths that I don't correct with. That one is a good one. But it's a myth all the same. So don't worry. All right. But I think some people use it to frighten mothers so that you don't stop breastfeeding your baby on time.
Just keep breastfeeding.
Okay, so somebody is asking, is it fried egg or boiled egg? Which one is more nutritional for a 9 month old? There's nothing like which one is more nutritional. They are both eggs, so they are okay for the baby. But usually for that age, you have to watch it. Usually for age, I would prefer you do boiled egg. Because when you do fats, because we don't want too much of the fats, we want the protein and all that. But that does not mean that you can't do fried egg. So you variety. So if you do fried egg, let's say on a Monday, another time you can do it as boiled egg, depending on what you're cooking and all that. But it's not like every time fried egg, or every time boiled egg. You can do a mix. So but when you fry your egg, the oil is adding extra calories. So there's nothing like something is more nutritional. It's still the same egg. It's just the mode of presentation that matters. And for children, you have to make sure you are doing the appropriate your food plates. You have to be complete. So you have to have the fat, you have to have the protein, you have to have the carbohydrates and all that. So there's nothing like one food is more nutritional than the other. It is usually a combination of food that you really always need. So there's no magical food that is better than every other food. Every food has its own values, but we get the better value when we mix them appropriately together. So you may want to watch our ACP live with a pediatric nutritionist about, I think, a couple of weeks back. So it's on IGTV. You can watch it so that you can get more information about that. So mothers always tend to fixate on a particular food. Oh, this particular food is no. There's no particular food that's the only thing you must be giving to your baby. It must be a combination of everything, and it must be variety. That's actually what's the best way to go. Okay, for me.
Okay. Yeah. When should a baby be allowed to put to sit, in bracket, what month, and for how many minutes a day?
You don't need to teach your baby to sit. You don't need to force them to sit. You just leave them. When the baby is ready to sit, your baby will sit on their own, and they will start assuming that sitting posture. Usually by 5 to 6 months, most baby begin to sit with support. With support means you have to put pillow and all that beside them. By 6, 7 to 8 months, they should be able to sit on their own with a very straight back. So there's something like, I know a lot of people have a lot of myths around. Oh, you start sitting boys at certain months, you start sitting girls at certain months. You see that, no, all those things are myths. There's really no basis for that. There's nothing. And when it comes to development, there's nothing like this. A boy should be done at this time, a girl should know. All those things are myths. So these are some of the things that we're trying to correct and get rid of. So there's nothing like you have to do this at this particular time. When your baby is ready to sit, you will know. Number one, your baby must have good neck control. The neck must be stable before they can put into the sitting posture. You understand? And you start seeing them trying to sit. The baby will be lifting their head. They able to control their head properly. That is a baby who is ready to sit. You understand? Even when you carry them, you will see them up, taking more of a sitting posture rather than the flat posture that they tend to take when they are still not yet achieving neck control. So it's a progressive thing, and they can do it all without you. They don't need you to teach them anything. They can do it all by themselves. How that helps. Okay, Zainab is saying, I know this question. Oh, I know this is for question, but mine is appreciation. Oh, thank you, Zainab. May God continue. May God Almighty reward all of you tenfold for all you do to keep us healthy. Oh, that's so heartwarming. Thank you, Zainab. All right, thank you. Odomina Health. I hope I got that name right. Nwakaego, yes. I feed my baby more of solid food than pap. No, no problem with that. My question is, as school is about to start and I'm a teacher, can I package solid food as a food for him, 9 months old? Why not? You can package whatever your baby is eating for your baby. So I guess you are asking, is it that you are taking your baby to the crèche? So, like we said, for somebody like the person who asked me about complementary feeding, there's no food that you cannot give your baby. It's just the texture. And as your baby gets bigger and older, the texture goes from being semi-solid or porridge-like or puree-like to becoming more of the solid. So if your baby is already taking solid at 9 months, that is fantastic. What you need to do is that whoever is going to be taking care of your baby, you let them know and let them make sure you already pack the food properly and let them feed your baby. So there's nothing like baby has to take only pap 24/7. No, pap is not complementary feeding. I think I'm going to keep saying it until all the mothers in Nigeria get that information, because I don't know who gave the memo that
Not only in
everybody.
Nigeria, not only in Nigeria.
Oh, really? It's all over the world. But I
All
don't
over
think
the
it's
world.
maybe in Africa. Okay, but I don't know who gave the memo that everybody think once it's time for complimentary feeding, then the next thing people grab is their pap, and that's pap and milk. That is, you don't even ever have to give your baby pap. That's the honest truth. You don't even ever have, because I do get a lot of questions like, my baby is not taking pap, though he's eating amala, he's eating eba, he's eating rice, but he's not taking pap. I'm like, and so what is your problem? So the baby never have to take pap all their life. They never have to take any cereal you buy in the market. They never have to. So if your baby is liking rice that you've mashed very well, or it's porridge that you've mashed potato, why are you worrying yourself about rice and pap? So we need to understand the concept of complementary. It's the food itself. It is not the way it is presented. So but when you start with semi-solid porridge, then you graduate to solids that you can small solid that is very soft, and then you got to full family diet by 1 year. That is our goal. So the Nwakaego, you can pack solid food. Just make sure the people that are going to feed your baby, yeah, you inform them very well so that they won't start bothering you to start bringing pap or all the other stuff. So that is what you need to do. All right. Okay. For
Yeah,
me,
yeah. Damn light cakes and everything. Ma, please, can I wash my baby's private part? She's 3 months. I
but
can open it. How do I wash it?
is it boy or girl? I guess a girl. Okay, so there's no special way. There's no special way to washing private parts for girls. Interesting, it seems to be like these people were in my in my what I was doing today. There's no special way to washing the private part of a girl. You wash what you need to wash is what you see, not what you don't see. Please do not douche for a baby. Do not try to put anything inside. What you see is that surface, and that is what needs to be washed. Okay, and you just wash it, and like the way you bath the skin, the way you wash the abdomen, that's the way you wash that surface. And please don't apply anything. All those people that are applying powder, that are tucking in clitoris, all those rubbish, or putting Vaseline or whatever you will do, please stop. All those things are highly unnecessary. You don't, and they are dangerous, because I don't know what damage you are causing already. Please just wash it the same way you are washing the hand like this. Wash the private part on the surface, what we call the vulva. That's the part you can see. Don't do anything on the inside. Don't push your hand on the inside. Just wash the surface, dry it clean, and that's it. For the, if the child is in diaper, put the diaper cream on the surface, not on the inside of anything, on the surface in between the thighs and all those things, and then wear the diaper for them. There's no special anything in terms of caring for the private part of a girl. So I hope that helps. Okay. Somebody is asking, can I make puree egg? Can I? How can I make puree from egg yolk for my 6-month-old baby? I'm not really sure I understand that question. How can I make puree from egg? I'm not sure. Imu, I think you may want to ask a question. If you are asking about puree, you can break the egg into the puree. Is it the puree of a pap or puree of anything? Puree just means you have blended something. That's the meaning of the word puree. So I don't think there's anything special by the word puree, just a description. So you may want to ask a question, but any of the thing you do, you can put in the egg yolk and mix it and cook it with it. It's fine. All right. Okay, for me, let's stay from your hand.
Yeah. Atp. My baby of 1 month plus vomits too much after sucking. Apart from holding him upright, is there any other thing to do?
What do you mean by too much? I really need. When people say too much, this I don't understand what you mean. I really need for you to tell me, because what is too much to you may actually be nothing to me. So it's very, very important. So I guess your baby is having reflux, but why do you say it's too much? Is it that everything the baby saw comes back? Then I will take that as too much. In other words, if baby always bring back, like if you give baby 50 mils of milk, thereabout, and the baby brings back everything, because in reflux the baby doesn't bring back everything. The baby bring back a little, just enough to stain their bib or something. They don't like that there's a quantity you will see, you know that, oh, this is everything I've given to this baby that is out the hand. If your baby is having that, then you should come and see us. You should come and see your pediatrician and let us know what is wrong, because that means there's a problem. But if baby is just bringing us a little of the milk, that is not too much, and the baby can do it with every feeding. That is also not too much. But most importantly is that you keep your baby upright after feeding, and make sure you also don't overfeed the baby as well, because if the baby is already overfull, then they will bring out all the excess as well. So make sure you feed the baby, you pat their back, you bump them after feeding, and then don't put your baby flat immediately after feeding. Some of you do it too quickly. You should keep them upright for at least 15 to 30 minutes. Not that you quickly go and put them to flat after feeding, so that you can go and do other things. If you want to do other things, you can put them on a car seat and tilt up, and they can still be in the car seat a little bit before you now finally go and put them on the bed. Or you can wear the baby around you, that upright posture. So there are many ways you can do it. So, but if you think it's really much, then a picture or seeing a pediatrician to gauge it for you may be good. Then we can take it up from there. All right. Okay. Mary Shime is asking, good evening, dog. God bless you and reward you greatly. Thank you. Please, my baby is 9 weeks and on exclusive breastfeeding for like 5 days. He has no poo. Should I be worried? No, not at all. You shouldn't be worried. Babies on exclusive breastfeeding may not poo every day. They may not even poo for up to 2 weeks. but they are otherwise fine. Their tummy is not swollen. They are not vomiting. They are healthy, sucking, happy baby. That is perfectly normal. So you don't need to worry in that baby at all. So don't need to worry about your baby not you don't need to worry at all. Your baby is fine. So I hope that is fine. I just need to make sure my phone is charging.
Okay. Okay, JFK back. Okay. Birth weight of 3.4 kg and 15 weeks 8.2 kg and not overfeeding. Please, is the baby okay?
What was the best weight again? Sorry, I missed that part.
3.4 kg.
Wow,
3.4 kg.
that's a lot. That's 5 kilos in almost less than 4 months. That's quite a lot. I really want you to see the pediatrician. Let's just be sure your baby doesn't have any issue, because you also said you are not overfeeding and your baby is really adding a lot of weight. So I will want you to see the pediatrician just to be sure. Okay, I think I'll go to my side. Yetunde is asking, my son of 8 years has a swelling on the upper left side of the neck. Since last year, we've been to the hospital, we've been to see the surgeon, done series of tests, scan, everything. Well, but it's not going well. This one is really above the above the level of what we can do online. I'm happy that you've gone to see the surgeon. I think what you need to do is to have a conversation with the surgeon to, like, what are they thinking about? What are they thinking? I can imagine what they are thinking about. There are two possibilities. We think of things like tuberculosis. We think of maybe is there a tumor or something. And from what you said, you have done all those tests. So you just need to be patient and wait for the result of those tests to know what it is that is swollen there. If you think you are not satisfied, you want to take it to another level, maybe a higher level hospital, because you didn't tell me which of the hospital you've been. But if I would say, go to a teaching hospital level if you are not comfortable of the service you are getting. But I think that they seem to be doing everything properly for your baby. So sometimes I know it can be quite frustrating, but something like what I always tell people, doctors, we are not magicians. We need to investigate, and that's one of the things we need to do. We need to investigate first to know what is going on with the baby. So there's nothing we can do until we've investigate the child. So I would just say, just be patient until your doctors are able to figure out what is wrong. When they know what is wrong, then they can advise you on what to do. But you just have to be patient, because this is the most crucial part. The most important thing is to know what it is. If we don't know what it is, we can't treat it. And if we don't know what it is, we can't treat it. And if we can't treat it, we can't. It will not go away. So I know it's very frustrating, but you just have to be patient. For example, the lab histology and all those things takes time for them to come out. But I think you should have conversation with your doctors to know what are they thinking, just to know what they are thinking first. At least so you have your idea of, well, not that you are just doing tests. I can imagine, and you don't know what it is that the test is all about. So, but that conversation should be with your doctor. It's too difficult for us to answer that online. I hope that helps. Don't
Thank
worry.
you.
Just take that into becoming, yeah.
Okay, already me. Good evening, ma. Is it normal for a baby to snore?
How old is the baby?
Ah,
Okay, when you say a baby, you need to qualify it. So we need to know how old the baby is. Babies have to have their age and all that. So you need to always tell us age of your baby every time you ask a question. Because as far as pediatrician is concerned, some people still call their 18-year-old their baby. So we need to know. Anyway, some babies can snore. There's nothing wrong with that. It means it may be a sign of a block, or things like what we call adenoids, enlargement, or any obstruction in the upper part of the airway. So if your baby is snoring, then you may need to see a doctor to know, is there anything blocking the airway of the baby, and then they will be able to advise you, is it something mild that baby will outgrow, or is it something significant that we need to do surgery or we need to take out. So it depends on which one your baby has. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going back to Facebook. Great, great, great. Thank you, Facebook family. Okay, I think Umu is asking the question again, like, how can I make puree from egg yolk for my 6 month old? I think I've answered your question. There's no special thing about puree. Puree just means something blended. So you can't make only egg puree. You have to add the egg to something. So are you adding the egg to your fruits, or you're adding it to pap, or you're adding it to something? I guess that's what you're asking. You can't just use egg alone as the only thing. There must be a combination of things for it to make sense. Okay, let me quickly go to Fatokun Okweoluwa. Say, I want to confirm if it's okay to give brown rice to baby instead of white rice. And is your father an example of a brown rice? Your father, you can give brown rice, you can give white rice, you can give a father rice. Or father is technically, brown rice is just basically rice that is still as in its natural form as possible. So ofada is still like that. It's like a rice that is they have not the ox, they have not polish. That what make white rice different from brown rice is the polishing of the brown rice. That means that brown rice or the ofada rice, they still have some of those nutrients, like some of the protein and other have not been removed from them in the process of polishing the rice. So that's just the only difference. So anyone you like is okay for your baby. There's no problem with that. So, okay, I can see Mr. Akiwande. Thank you for watching. Okay, Fumi, your side.
My baby pollutes the air a lot
Mhm.
and stretches a lot too.
Mhm.
She's 3 months.
Mm.
Please, is it normal?
It's normal. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. It's part of removing. So because babies on exclusive breastfeeding, sometimes they may not be passing the stool all the time, but they may be bringing a lot of gap because breast milk is being very pre-digested. But it's not something to worry about. That's a normal thing. So don't worry about it. Okay, Umu is asking again that how true is it that if a baby grows teeth at age 5 months, that the teeth won't be strong as baby growing teeth at age 1 year? Oh, Umu, you really need to stop listening to the people you are listening to. You really need to stop listening to those people because they are feeding you with lots of meat. Okay, so babies start to bring out teeth at 5 months, and the teeth they brought out is different at different ages. So they bring out what they call the incisors, then they are going to bring out 20 teeth, and they need to do that between 5 to 6 months to age of 2 years. So the teeth they bring out at 1 year is not different. And the fact that a baby who has delay in bringing out teeth and they didn't bring out his own teeth until 1 year, just like somebody who has asked us now that our baby is 15 months and only has 4 teeth. So they are not, it does not mean there's a problem with those babies. They're like, it doesn't mean that the teeth they bring out is different from if they are brought out the teeth at 6 months. They are different teeth. So there's all those things anyway, it's just meat. So the teeth that is coming out at 5 months is not the same teeth that will come out in that same baby at 1 year. But if baby is delayed and didn't bring out the first teeth or first set of teeth until 1 year, it's still the same teeth. So there's nothing like the teeth is stronger or not stronger. And there's really no reason why we should be fixated about baby's teeth. Really, there's really no basis for all these teeth. I don't know. The teeth will still be strong enough to eat the rice, to eat the chicken, to eat whatever you want to eat. And they are going to still lose those teeth anyway. They are going to lose those teeth and then they'll bring out new teeth at age 5 to 7 years. So they will have this. So what they are bringing out as a baby is what we call primary teeth or temporary teeth or milk teeth. But when they're about 5 years again, they will lose all those sets of 20 teeth and bring out the adult teeth or the permanent teeth. So there's no reason for you to worry about the baby's teeth. All right, Fumi, do we still have anything from Instagram?
Yeah, we have questions.
Okay, let's be fast too because our time is running. Wow, we have only 2 minutes. Wow.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Okay, maybe we'll just take one more question. So any other person, we're sorry, can put some
Okay.
questions on our Facebook page. Okay, tell me, AK1, what's the average weight for a baby of 8 months that weighs 3.15 at birth?
It should be about 8 kilos. 8.5 thereabouts. Yeah. Yeah, be fast. Let's finish Instagram question because we're going to shut down Instagram now in another few minutes.
Okay, what is the ideal time to potty train a baby?
From 18 months. or when the child is ready. Some children are ready from 18 months, some are not ready until 2 years, some are not ready until 3 years, but from 18 months.
Okay. Good evening, doctor. Please, my 7-month-old baby's stool is pinkish orange. Please, should I be worried?
Don't know, maybe it has to do what you're feeding the baby with. Maybe check the diet first. Maybe there's something
Okay.
in the diet that is turning the stool.
Okay. Patupe, it brings back almost everything this morning, but
Oh.
small in the afternoon. I'm seeing the pediatrician this Friday.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Okay. All right. Thank you, Instagram family. I think you're going to get cut off right now. So thank you for watching. We'll continue on Facebook for a little bit more because we have more control over Facebook. But Instagram is going to cut us off immediately
All
until
right. Thank
7
you.
o'clock.
Thank you for watching. See you again some other time. And
Yeah.
don't forget to add your friends to our social media handles as a pediatrician. All right. Have a nice evening.
If your
Bye.
question has not been answered, feel free to post it on our
Please
Facebook
post
group.
on our Facebook page. Yeah, our moderators are there. They will answer all your questions.
Yes, from Monday to
Alright,
Saturdays.
thank you for watching.
Okay, well, you can still keep listening
Our
until
Sunday is our no post day. We won't answer. In fact, you'll be able to post, so don't bother.
on Sundays. Yes, but you can post Monday
Yeah.
to Monday to
Monday to
Saturdays.
Saturday.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
Instagram. I don't know when they will cut you out.
Alright, Dr. Baby, have a good evening.
Yeah, just you stay there until they cut you out. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, I think they've not cut us out, so I'll leave it there. Okay, I've answered this question. So let's go back to this question. Zainab is asking, my kids of 3 years are one. My kids are 3 years and 1 year, 3 months now. Glory to God, since the corona pandemic healed the country, they have not fallen sick in any form until now. What we do differently this time around is regular hand washing and all that. My little baby bring out the battalion temperature. Thank you. Okay, this is a testimony from Zainab. Thank you so much. I love your testimony, Zainab. Thank you so much. Okay, somebody is asking, my baby is 1 year, 7 months. I can't remember what your initial question was. Sorry. Please, whenever you're giving an additional question, an additional answer, please just remind me of the old one because I mean I've forgotten what initially why I'm asking for the age weight of your baby. All right. Ike Edit is asking, my baby of 5 years is weighing 29 kilos, so our height is looking like a 7-year-old girl. Thank ma'am. Okay, I'm not even sure what the question is with Ike. Okay, it's Ike again that gave us that question. I don't know. Yes, I can't remember what your question is. So anyway, I guess that's a follow up. If you still have question, just remind me.
Let me read this question. Maybe
Okay, I think Instagram is just leaving us, or have they changed their policy?
I don't know. Maybe has a birth rate of 3.8 kg and 10.25 kg at 10 weeks. Is this okay?
What was the second one at 10 weeks?
3.8 kg and 10.25 kg at 10 weeks.
10 kilos. That's high. That's high. That's high. Okay, I can see some people calling their mommy there. Okay. Thank you, mommy. Anyway, just stay there until I think Instagram is not cutting us off as 1 hour again. That sounds strange. Yeah, I think maybe they've changed the policy. Okay, that would be lovely because we're always rushing to leave Instagram. Okay, let me just answer. Ambi Fiki, he said, my baby of 9 months threw up most solid food. We did EBF for 6 months. Now I just take pap and more breast milk. It should be a concern. Maybe you should not be taking only pap and breast milk. How are you giving the solid food and all that? You really need to have a conversation either with your nutritionist or with your pediatrician. Your baby should definitely not be doing only breast milk and pap. That baby is not going to gain weight. That baby is not feeding well. That is not complementary feeding at all. So please go to our Facebook group, go to the unit section, do unit 102 on complementary feeding. All right. Our baby will be 6 months. Oh, I can't remember. If you don't tell me your former question, I can't remember, honestly. It's so hard because we're answering so many questions.
Talking about brown rice and white rice. I thought we were talking about brown rice and white rice.
Okay, yeah, but that's fine. Your baby can take that. Somebody say, can I do executive? I guess you mean exclusive for twins. Okay, for twins, yes, you can. We actually have testimonial of those who have done it. If you go to our Facebook, our Instagram page, or our YouTube channel, you will see the stories of those who have done exclusive breastfeeding for twins. So it's possible. It's possible. Yes, you can. Okay, yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Yesterday is updating me that the lump is a growth on his own and in Ajao Estate. Okay, well, so what is the growth? Is it a normal growth? Is it an abnormal growth? Is it, I don't want to go into the detail because this is a personal kind of a question to you, but they should be able to tell you that. Okay, we're almost rounding up anyway. I think that's interesting that Instagram is leaving us on. That means it's not a mistake. Okay, that's interesting. I think I like that. Okay, so if you have any question, you can
Follow up
see ask.
for Atp.
Yeah.
Okay. I admitted he was overfed in the morning because he keeps holding on to the feeding bottle and
Feeding
screams when
bottle.
removed.
I'm going to cry. Don't bottle feed your baby, please. Stop it. Why are you feeding? Why are you giving feeding bottle? That means you are doing formula feeding and you are doing breast milk. I thought you said CBF. I can't remember now. Please stop feeding bottle. We ate feeding bottles. Pediatricians don't like feeding bottles at all because you can't clean it properly and it can cause infections to your baby. If your baby is on breast milk, give baby breast milk. If your baby needs to be fed with express breast milk, give cup and spoon. No bottles, please. And bottles tend to make babies suck air more and they tend to also have more hair to expel and they can also have reflux more. Seriously, so you need to want to stop it. Okay, let me just answer this question. Joy is saying, when I lay my baby on his back, he always checks and his sleep is often truncated. Is it wrong to put him to sleep on his tummy, at least under my watch or on his side? No, please always put your baby back to sleep. This is a scientific recommendation. There's what we call sudden infant death syndrome. Sudden infant death syndrome is common when babies lie on their tummy. So babies should lie on their back. The weight of your baby is more important than than this comfort of sleeping on their tummy. Baby can only lie on their tummy when they are awake. When they are awake and just for a few minutes and you are there monitoring them, please don't put baby on their tummy to sleep. Back to sleep to prevent sudden infant death syndrome. You can go and read more about sudden infant death syndrome. It's something, this is a recommendation by WHO, UNICEF, AAP, Academy of Pediatricians. This is a universal recommendation that baby should sleep on the back. Mirabel, does watching a lot of cartoon affect the sight of children? Not necessarily their sight, but it affects their brain. We don't want children being babysitted with cartoons and TV. Please, they are not getting stimulated, their brain is not growing. There's a limit to screen time. Usually we say not more than 1 to 2 hours in a day. So please, you guys should, and not even toddlers, those babies, no, please interact with them, speak to them, let them learn to talk. I know it's convenient, so but it's not the best for the children. We prefer they interact with human beings and talk and learn to talk rather than to be playing with cartoon and all that. So because okay, Joy is saying my baby of 10 weeks chokes when lying down irrespective of of the position. It seldom brings out speed. Why should it be shocking? Do you keep your baby upright for like 15 to 30 minutes before you put the baby down? So you need to do that first. You need to make sure you bob the baby. If your baby is still choking despite of that, you need to see a pediatrician because it may mean the baby has a medical condition, because sometimes there's an abnormal communication between abnormal malformation of what we call the foodway and the airway. If they are communicating, that may explain that. So that is a serious picture. A child who is choking is a serious condition. We worry about that because you must see a pediatrician immediately. Let us examine the baby, but also make sure you don't put your baby to sleep immediately after feeding, which is what most mothers do. You know, let baby sleep on your hand. Oh yeah, let me put that down. Let me go and do my 1001 work that I have not done. No, that is actually wrong. You should put them on your back, pat them on the back for another 15-30 minutes, or wear them or put them on their car seat. Just make sure they are upright before you now put them to sleep. And if your baby is still choking despite that, that baby needs to see a pediatrician because there's something definitely wrong. Yeah, I've answered that question. Okay, I think I'm almost done with his Facebook. Oh, I have a question from YouTube. Amazing. Somebody is watching us from YouTube. Oluwayemi Sioladimeji. My baby of 4 months or 2 weeks poop is like adults. How is adult poop? EBF baby. Babies on EBF don't have adult poop. No, they don't. I'm very sure of that. So usually their stools are, they may have bulky stools, but it won't be hard. It won't be like solid hard. You must be giving breast milk only. If you're giving breast milk only, they may not pass stools every day. And when they pass the stool, it may be pasty, like bulky, but it won't be hard. It won't be coming out in pellets or hard stools. No. If your baby is passing hard stools and or pellets, then you really need to see a pediatrician for a baby on EBF, because we need to rule out other issues in that baby, like conditions that will cause chronic constipation and all that. But babies on EBF, oh, and when I say EBF, EBF means breast milk only, because I've seen a lot of mothers think EBF just means breastfeeding. No, it's breast milk only, no water, no formula, nothing else. So if you are giving anything else, it's no longer EBF. So you really need to be sure that you are doing EBF. So Oluwayemi, say just before you confirm first that you are doing EBF, and if you are doing EBF and your baby, and what do you mean by adult stool? Is it that it's hard, or is it that it's plenty, or what is the adult nature of it? I really want to understand that grammar first. Then so that I don't just keep going on one target when you actually meant something else. So you may want to clarify that. Okay, I think finally I've answered my last question. Hooray! Oh no, two more. Okay, Charity is saying my baby can't speak properly. How old is, oh, my baby of 2 years can't speak properly, though it doesn't have children. I don't understand. If your 2 year old is not speaking, you need to see a speech therapist or a developmental pediatrician. You need to see one of us. I don't know what you mean properly. There are some terminologies parents use that don't really make any, we don't understand what it means. What is properly? Because you have to really describe what you mean. That's only when we can now know, okay, yes, that is properly or not properly. But for me now, I've not really understood what you meant. You can say things like my baby only speak one word, or he's speaking only two words, or he can only call mommy and this, or that makes more sense to me, because that way I can assess the baby on that based on what you are, that information, rather than properly. Okay, thank you, Joy. Thank you, Joy. Okay, Oluwayemi still saying the stool is very hard. No, what do you mean by very hard? Okay, I'm really putting you on the spot now. But it's very hard for me to believe babies on breast milk is passing very hard stools. They don't, because it's breast milk, and breast milk, there's nothing hard in breast milk at all. It's just breast milk. It's 80% water and all that. So make sure you breastfeed your baby. It shouldn't be hard. If it is hard and it's not frequent, then you really need to see us. We need to be sure there's nothing else going on with the baby. That's what I mean. Yes, yes. So that, yes, I agree with you. Your baby is on EBF. If it's just EBF, no water. But the stool should not be hard at all. It's really, really not something that should happen in a baby on EBF, because breast milk is 80% water, and they tend to pass. It may be pasty. Pasty means it's thick. It's thick, but it's not hard. There are two different things. Hard still means it's like it comes out in pellet. You can even see the shape of the anus. It's round, and like it, the baby won't be able to pass it as a single thing. It will be coming out small, but that is really very, and baby will strain a lot. Don't think a baby who is training is passing hard stool. It's there are two different things. I guess that's another thing I need to clarify, because parents always think that when babies say and that means the stool is hard. It's not the stool that is hard. That is how babies do. Babies train a lot when passing their stool. It does not mean their stool is really hard. So maybe don't confuse the two. What is hard is what kind of stool is the baby passing. Is it like something like pellet? Because hard stool in babies cannot come out once like that. It will come out in drops like that, like that of the bed. But if the baby is passing, if the baby is grunting, don't mean that does not mean the baby is passing out stool. That is just a normal thing most baby do. And most of you will bear witness that even when they are finally pass the stool, if the stool is even semi-watery and you are wondering why is this baby grunting to pass the stool, there's really nothing hard about the stool. Okay, we are going now. 2 minutes. For me, I think Instagram is no longer putting us under a bondage of 1 hour. That is amazing. Then that means we can keep on doing our program as long as we want to. Yes, I miss feed my 4-month-old. I give him nan one during the day and breast because of work, but I'm not lactating well to express. I want to know if I can give him water as well. Yes, if you are giving formula, you need to give water as well. If you are giving formula, you must give water. And just read on your formula thing, it's written there and all that. My baby refused to take formula after IBF. Why did your baby doesn't need formula because of after IBF? Your baby should be on complementary feeding. Complementary feeding is not formula feeding. That's another thing I really need to say. If your baby is taking breast milk, your baby may not need formula at all. So go and do the complementary feeding. Your breast milk is the milk baby needs, but your baby needs other food. So formula is not complementary feeding. Pap is not. I think I really need to come again with complementary feeding ATP Live because it's an issue. I think I need to really put up the cost as well. Can I start EBF from no? Okay, can I start EBF from 3 months? Won't it affect the baby's weight? It won't. If you, as long as you are lactating well, you can stop formula feeding and continue exclusive breastfeeding. It won't affect your baby's weight. Thank you, thank you. Final question. The stool is long and it doesn't stool daily. It doesn't stool daily, that is normal. It's not constipation. Babies on EBF may not stool every day. They may not stool for up to 2 weeks, and that is normal. But the stool will not be hard. It won't be hard. That's the truth. So if the stool is very hard or long, I don't understand what you mean by long, to be honest, then you may want to see a pediatrician. I think you should see a pediatrician. Okay, final question. Thank you. We gotta go home. Fumi, I hope there's no more question in your hand.
We have questions.
Ah, but you were not reading them now.
We have
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Ogumo Dede. That was my baby's mama when I was in Lutz. They were the people taking care of my babies for me then. When I was, they are the people that always reminding us to come and breastfeed. Thank you for watching. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, big mommy. That's the color then. Okay. All right. I think Instagram family will answer your question on Friday.
just give us the time to do.
All right. Thank you. Thank
One
you.
or two, probably one or two, and then we'll call it a day.
Okay. Okay. Because of you, because you waited. I actually thought they are going to cut you off.
Honestly, I was even waiting for them to cut me off.
Yeah, I was surprised. Okay.
Okay. Can I add sugar to my baby's rice Irish potato porridge?
Yeah, you can. What is it called? Rice.
Yeah.
Rice. Why do you need
Irish potato porridge?
No, why do you need sugar in Irish potato porridge? Salt, not sugar. I thought it's pap you are talking about. No, please don't. When you cook Irish potato for yourself, what do you add? Do you add sugar or salt? I don't know. I think people normally add salt. But even everything must be small. Not too much salt, not too much. Please avoid too much unnecessary sugar if you don't need it. Please. I know some people like to put salt and sugar in their yam and all those things, but please don't do it for the babies. We don't want the sugar. The sugar is just to, if it's like if you are doing pap and it's just to sweeten the food, but not like everything is sugar. No, please avoid white sugar. It's not good for the baby. Yeah.
Okay, now the last question.
Yeah.
How will I manage twins without using feeding bottle after expressing the breast milk? At times, both of them wakes up at the same time and cry for food. I'm a first-time mom.
Oh, Pele. I know it's not easy with twins, but with twins, you need help. You need help. So if you express your milk, somebody can be breastfeeding the baby, but you can breastfeed twins at the same time. I hope you know that. But you need pillows. So what you do, you put one to this breast, you put one to this breast, and you support them. That is one way of doing it. So if you are not comfortable with that option, if you express, what we are not saying you cannot give express breast milk, but we are just saying we don't do it with bottle, but you can do it with cup and spoon. I know you can do that. You understand? Because the bottle problem is the you have to sterilize them well, and at the end of the day, we don't want you to see end up with us with diarrhea. So it's not as if we are trying to make your life difficult. I know it's I know you think these pediatricians are making my life difficult, but you really need to go and sterilize. It's a lot of work, but what if you are going to do bottle, make sure you sterilize it well. Make sure you don't repeat bottle. So when you use one bottle, that's the end of that bottle for that day. You have to have like plenty of bottles. Almost every field we have its own bottle, so that at the end of the day you wash all of them at once, sterilize them, and get them ready for the following day. I don't know which work you prefer, but then it's easier to wash cups and spoon, and you don't even need to sterilize them in any special way. Just wash them properly. You can put them in hot water, and that's it. So it's just for your own baby's sake. I know we're not trying to be difficult, eh? But if you are sure you are sterilizing your bottle well, all the well. And then sometimes babies can also have what we call nipple confusion. In other words, when they take bottle, then they don't want to take your breast because they prefer the bottle to the breast. So that those are the reason why we are trying to avoid bottle. At least, but if you have already established breastfeeding and you want to do bottle and you are really putting all your efforts into it, well, you can try, but usually most of us don't recommend that you use bottles at all. Yeah. Okay, is that the last one?
Okay, one more. Is
No,
this
for
good for a
me.
8 month baby?
Okay, last one.
Is this good for 8 months baby?
Yes, you can use dates in the as a yes, you can use dates to sweeten your pap and all that is fine. Okay, thank you everybody for watching ATP Live on
That's
Monday.
all.
We are able to go
Yeah,
live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram
that is
simultaneously.
perfect.
Amazing. Unfortunately, I thought we were going to be cut off on you on Instagram because it's already over an hour. But I think Instagram must have changed something today because they didn't cut us off. That is amazing. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again on Friday for ATP Live on Instagram. I'm not so sure whether they'll be able to do the YouTube and Facebook because I'm able to do that. But anyway, we will see you again. But there may be ATP Live on Saturday for those on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to rewatch, if you are late to the party, feel free to watch again on YouTube. Feel free to watch on Facebook. And thank you, Oluwaye Mr. Ladimeji, for watching from YouTube. I'm really impressed that somebody actually watched from YouTube for the first time. That's amazing. All right. Thank you, everyone. And it's bye bye
Okay,
from all of us.
all right,
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Henry Broadcast.